The Cookout 400 around Martinsville in Virginia was on this weekend in the NASCAR Cup Series. So as we always do here on the channel, guys, let's have a look at the 5 things we learned, the 5 main highlights from this event on Sunday. So we started off with Chris Bell and Chase Elliott leading from the start of the race, but eventually it was Bell who took the lead. He kept that for around 20 laps, but Elliott eventually got the lead back from him. Through the cautions and the craziness, somehow it was actually Joey Logano who came out on top. Other teams and other drivers choosing to do pit stops, and therefore Logano was the winner in stage 1. The second thing we learned is that the Wood brothers are really back in NASCAR right now. They're really making waves with Josh Berry at the helm. He's really doing an incredible job. Of course, he got that incredible victory the other week, didn't he? And he was leading this race as well. This was the first time, I think, that a Wood brothers car has led a race around Martinsville since 2004, I believe the commentary team was saying. Around 20 years, if not longer, was the actual figure there, which is incredible. But unfortunately, it didn't go to plan really for Berry. He was basically tapped by Bubba Wallace in the pits, and they hit the electrical, the battery. That was it. Yeah, hit the battery, knocked it out. And because the battery actually, you kind of need it to keep the car going. If you've ever tried driving without a battery, it's not much fun. My car had its battery fail while I was driving, which was, that was terrifying. But same thing in the NASCAR sense. They basically just rolled it round to the pits again. It's only a short track as Martinsville, the 1 mile circuit. But yeah, he got pushed around back to the pits again, got going eventually. But yeah, his day was basically ruined because of that. Just an honest mistake. It wasn't deliberate from Bubba, or at least I like to think it wasn't, especially not to hit it that precisely. But yeah, unfortunately, Berry was, his afternoon was pretty much over at that point, unfortunately for him. But he did lead for a little bit at Martinsville, which is something that team has not done in a very, very long time. Speaking of Wallace, the third thing we learned, he was challenging for the lead in stage 3, but it was Denny Hamlin who had the measure of him from the restart. So Hamlin had doing a really good job in this one. He won both stage 2 and stage 3, and that kind of ties into the last thing I wanted to talk about. Incredible stuff, really. He led more laps during this race, I heard, than in the entire next-gen era combined for him. He's not had a good time of things, especially at the front in the next-gen era. He never led more laps during a race in this current NASCAR car series, the actual regulations that stipulate what car you need to have. That's incredible stuff, really. And he held off Bell in the final closing stage as well. Very impressive for him to do that. And he's a real master around Martinsville, but it's been 10 years since Denny Hamlin actually managed to win a race here, so it's been a very long time. A great result for Bell after a couple of tricky weekends after his triple win, of course, earlier in the season, the three-peat as it was. But yeah, incredible stuff really for Hamlin to do that. He's pretty much booked his place into the playoffs with that as well, so well done for him. But yeah, Joey Logano, I want to talk about him again. I mentioned him before. He won stage 1, but how did he end up in this race? Where did he end up in the placings? Well, now it seemed for all the world as though he was going to be up in the top 10, but then of course he got spun out towards the end of the race. But despite that, somehow he got his first top 10 finish of the season. He's been waiting a long time for this, has the reigning world champion in the NASCAR Cup Series, but somehow he gets an 8th place. I don't even know how he managed it. It seemed for all the world as though he was going to be well down the order, but he somehow managed to recover despite that. So fair play to the guy. He gets a lot of criticism, but he did very much recover from that very well. Very unexpected. Didn't see that coming at all. So yeah, well done to him. Real big surprise there, to be honest with you. But yeah, of all the things to happen to Logano, spin and not quite spin and win, but spin and get 8th place, his best result of the season. So maybe he'll be back on the kind of form we kind of expect from him later in the season. Eventful race around Martinsville for the 2025 Cookout 400. Very, very good race. Really shaking things up. Like I said, Hamlin into the playoffs with that. We had drama with Josh Berry losing his car like that, and a few crashes thrown in there as well. But what do you think about the race this weekend, guys? Let us know in the comments below. And yeah, for much more news and opinions on the world of NASCAR, do keep it tuned here to Motorsport Reports. Of course, head over to the website as well for more information. And yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe as always. Hope you had a great weekend and hope you have a great week ahead, guys. See you very soon for more content just like this.